Hi, so I've put together a short video here to introduce you to the creative nonfiction assignment. It'll be technically starting on Monday and you'll get 2 weeks to get it done. You are more than welcome to start it over spring break if you so desire, or start looking it over and get familiar with it. But since we will be on a funky schedule because of the end of course exam testing, this will predominantly be done on your own time. Not that you can't email me, not that you can't stop in and see me or talk to me when I do see you for class. During testing will not be a time where we can talk about it, since I need to focus on testing during that time. But this is what it is. It's an extension of the editorial unit. So it'll still be nonfiction. You'll pick a theme for a magazine type project that you'll be turning in. I'll show you examples on another video. And I just want to let you know what all is in this folder on Schoology under materials. So the folder is called CP Creative Nonfiction Assignment. The CP is the college prep class, which you guys are in. And this is the explanation point. This is the assignment page. So it kind of goes through. The objective is your task is to create a mini magazine that places the spotlight on a creative nonfiction work of your design. And your final product has to include a magazine cover, personal photography, a 2 to 3 page creative nonfiction piece, and a works cited paper, as well as there's also going to be a reflection piece that you'll write. But your theme, so your final product that this magazine covers, could be a topic like eating disorders, or the magazine could be covering a topic like climate change, or changes to Major League Baseball to get the game to go faster, or traveling and how that benefits you overall, what you have to do to be accepted into the colleges of your choice. You could take kind of what you wrote about for some of your columns, because not all of you did it correctly, and not all of you did a research-based topic, but some of you could. Some of you wrote, like one person did their editorial column on the pipeline that's going through the sacred grounds of North Dakota for the Native Americans and how it affects them, and you could do a whole magazine project on something like that. You would just have to extend it a little bit more. So the assignment. So let's look at this paper that you see in front of you. Your magazine should have a cover, and the cover will need to be modeled after the magazine of your choice. So that could be Newsweek magazine, Time magazine, People magazine, 17 magazine, Sports Illustrated magazine. It'll be designed around a magazine of your choice. This means you need a professional heading, a clear headline devoted to your creative nonfiction piece, and subtitles. At least 3 additional article titles that would go on the cover of your magazine, as if those stories were in the magazine. Although you only have to have one story that's 2 to 3 pages long. But you would have subtitles saying, like, you could also find these stories in this magazine, even though you didn't really cover them. The picture must be one that you take. All the photography in this project has to be photography you take, and there are materials in this folder that tells you what you need to do when you're taking these pictures, things to think about, and how you'll be graded on the picture. So you'll want to go through that material. And while graphic design tools may be used for the layout of the picture on the page, Google and other search engines should not be used for your photography on the page. So you can use them for your design layout, but not for pictures. You cannot find pictures online and use them. They have to be pictures you took. Now, inside the magazine, the audience should view a complete photo portfolio. You'll see examples of at least 3 pictures that have been photographed by you, which lead the audience to the reading of your creative nonfiction piece. So they have to go along with what your creative nonfiction piece is about. The 2 to 3 page paper. It has to include research in it. A lot more than what many of you used in your editorial. Photos can be still portraits. They can be scenes of action. Each picture should be large enough in size. It could be the whole space of the page or just most of the page, because you will also need space to write what the picture is depicting and how it fits with your theme. Pictures that take on a skit-like appearance should be avoided. Underneath each photo, a caption should appear, and all that is explained in the materials that you'll find online that go with this unit about the photography part. So I'm not going to read all of this, but it's important that you read all of it. Go through it, make sure you understand what's required of you, make sure you understand the objectives of the project, ask me questions if you don't, whether that's through email or whether that's through you stopping in my classroom in person and talking to me. So requirements, please read this and the rubric carefully. The topic convinces the audience the writer has a particular passion or interest in the specific discussion found in the piece. So if you're not interested in eating disorders and how they affect people and how they affect the people in that person's life, then don't use that as your topic. Pick something that you'll be interested in doing research on and finding out about and sharing in a magazine type project. You know, these magazines here, for instance, this one, okay, I'm uploading all the pictures that go with it so that you can see examples of what this project looks like on the inside and what that student did to get a good grade. So all of this is in here. There's even a rubric. If you go into Schoology, let me go back to materials. And you scroll to the bottom, you'll see CNF, Creative Nonfiction Project. When you click on that, you'll see this is what I just had opened. You'll see research information on how to do your works cited paper and how to do your research, how to take notes while you're doing your research. Here's some brainstorming questions you can ask yourself when trying to come up with topics. There's the rubric. So you'll see I'll open that really quickly. That it shows like how you're going to be graded on your cover of your magazine, images on the cover, as well as images included within your article, audience and purpose, who your audience was and what your purpose was and how you reached your audience, your target audience. There's a section on syntax, diction, and figurative language, grammar. So important, because otherwise, if that's not clean of errors, your message can easily get lost. How well you did your research, and you synthesized your information and shared it with us. You didn't plagiarize. You didn't copy and paste. You actually read, took notes, synthesized, and then put together all that information in your words. If you copy anything word for word, you have to cite it. It is illegal to plagiarize. And then you've also included some personal experience in there, how it affects you and how it's relevant to the audience. Your MLA works cited paper, you can use an engine online that will actually do it for you, or you can do it freehand. I give you examples in the materials. And then the photography used that you yourself will take. This is a 115-point project. That's huge. You get 2 entire weeks to get it done. So you definitely don't want to waste your time on that and procrastinate to the last minute. Other things in here, there's a magazine study that shows you how to make your magazine like the magazine itself, how to do quotations in the paper, whether you're quoting from an online source, a documentary, a personal interview. I've got all of that in there. More on works cited papers, taking notes. And these are the individual, how to cite different scholarly journals, how to cite a newspaper, everything that you can possibly think of. How to do an infograph. Okay, it's all in here. Every single thing that you would need in order to be able, and then just a final review checklist in order to be able to do a good job on this project. So periodically I'll be putting videos in to talk about those individual things, but this video is a basic. Here's your project. Here's what's in the materials folder. Talk to me when you need help. Get me to check things along the way. Don't procrastinate. Okay? This is huge. 115 points. It will help so many of you. Don't let it hurt you. Okay? Go for the most points you can possibly get.